My name is Richie Palys, and I am an artist and musician. Let's just get started with some music. I'm about to play a 30-second clip of music, and I want you all to visualize in your minds what you would see if you were to paint a picture of the song itself. All right? Let's begin. So what'd you think? Would you have used red paint? Blue paint? Orange, purple? Great, this is awesome. Yeah. Would you have shapes? Would you use triangles, squares, circles? Ovals. Ovals. How about anything three-dimensional? Spheres, cubes, pyramids? Anything? Did it look anything like this? No, yes. That's funny. See, this is what I see when I listen to music. This is what I see when I listen to that song in particular. And the reason is because I have a condition called synaesthesia. Synaesthesia is the production of a sense impression relating to one sense or another part of the body by stimulation of another sense or part of the body. In other words, one sense triggers another. There are people with synaesthesia that smell aromas and feel touch. There are people that have synaesthesia that taste food and also hear sounds. The variation of synaesthesia that I have is called chromesthesia, and that basically means that when I hear music, I see colors and shapes. So what does that mean? Well, let's listen to a few examples. This is a saxophone. I'm sure many of you know what a saxophone sounds like, but let's just take a listen to refresh our memories. So when I hear a saxophone, I see kind of like a paint stroke of brown with a shine of gold, and it looks a lot like tree bark. It has a rough texture, maybe sandpaper sometimes. So let's listen to another instrument, the French horn. Take a listen. So when I hear the French horn, I see a lot of blue, a little bit of yellow, but no green, which is interesting because that's right in between blue and yellow. And the shape and texture that I see is like an oval. It's flat, but it still has depth, and it has a smooth surface. Let's listen to something a little bit more electronic, a synthesizer. This is what a synthesizer sounds like. So when I hear a synthesizer, I see bright pink and some gray and some white kind of woven in, and a lot of it has this very pleasant, very fuzzy, static kind of texture, a lot like when you unplug the cable box. One more, the upright bass, a much lower instrument. Take a listen. So the upright bass, to me, has either a dark purple color or a clear gray color. And unlike the other instruments, it's three-dimensional. So it has like a spherical shape, but more of an oval, a lot like this picture. So what are these shapes doing? Do they just kind of pop up and then go away? Well, no. They're moving. They're moving like music moves. Melodies come in and then fade away. Instruments change. Harmonies swell and decrescendo. The same way happens when I'm listening to music and I see these images. They're moving constantly. And I see them as if I'm looking through kind of like a window. Take a look at this picture. You see the car, but you could also look past the car. It's transparent. So in the same way, I kind of have like this window right here, and when music plays, it shows up, and I could look through it, I could see people, I could see reality, but I could also focus in on it. So now that I've said all this, does this picture have a little bit more meaning to you? Can you kind of understand it a little more? So let's take a few steps back. When I was 9, I started playing piano. Since then, I've been playing trombone, performing, composing, arranging. I realized I had an affinity for music, and I think it's because I had synaesthesia. So I kept going. I loved music. I went to Elmhurst College and got my double bachelor's degree in jazz studies and music composition. Went to DePaul University, got my master's in jazz composition. And it was only a few years before all this that I realized I had synaesthesia. Because when you have synaesthesia, you don't know that you have synaesthesia. You just think that everybody experiences the same things you do. But it wasn't until I finally came across the term synaesthesia that I realized, oh, I have this. What can I do with this, though? I wanted to create something using this, because this was different, this was unique. And I thought, wait, I'm a composer. This makes sense. It clicked one day. I'm going to create visual art, paintings, based on compositions that I write myself. So I got started. And the way that I approached each composition was not by writing the melody first and not by writing the harmonies first, but creating a color palette. So you know this about me, different instruments evoke different colors. So instead of writing the melodies first, I chose what colors I wanted to be in each song before I even wrote any music. For instance, one song I might want to be yellow and red and maroon, so I chose saxophones and clarinets and bassoons, and other compositions I wanted blue and green and purple, so I chose guitars, and I chose electric guitar and pianos, and other compositions I wanted to be a really bright, vibrant pink, gray, you guessed it, synthesizers. I used synthesizers and electronic percussion and electronic instruments in these compositions as well. So, I composed it, and I recorded it. That's a long process in and of itself, won't get into it, but once it was recorded, I was finally able to see the music that I had written. And at this point, I decided I needed to draw what I saw. So this is my workspace. I spent weeks and weeks and weeks listening and drawing and listening and coloring and listening and coloring at the same time. And the thing about synaesthesia and drawing it is that it's moving, and you know this. So I had to pick things. I had to say, what's the most important part of each picture or of each composition? I need to take this melody. It's beautiful and green. I need to take the bass line. It's gray and it's holding the whole piece together. Sometimes there were sparkles, and I had no idea where they even came from. But I'm like, I need that. I need to draw that. So I did it. I drew all these, and you could probably understand where some of these shapes and colors are coming from. But I felt like it needed to be taken one step further to be a cohesive work of art. So what I did is I teamed up with an artist from the area named Ryan Tippery, and together we collaborated, and we took the most important parts of each of the drawings, and we condensed them into sort of a cohesive story, so that you could listen to all 13 songs while looking at all 13 pictures and have all 13 pictures be cohesive. So this is what they look like in their final state. And you could see the before and after. Some things we kept, some things we didn't. Some things we condensed, some things we expanded. We used primary colors because we felt that all colors come from these three colors, so these are sort of the essence of what I'm saying. Essentially, what I created on the right is the pure essence of my synaesthetic experience. And I want to share that with you right now. Now, unfortunately, I don't have enough time to share with you the entire album because that would take about 75 minutes. But I have prepared for you a short 2-minute reel of all 13 songs to accompany the 13 paintings. Ladies and gentlemen, this is called Family Time. So there you have it. Thank you all so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me tonight. Thank you, Soundpost, for signing me onto this. This has been a wonderful experience. Please get excited for Ricardo Mondragon and his presentation, and have a great night, everyone. Thank you.